Okay, sorry about that. The recording kind of messed up there, but we're fine. We're fine. We're fine.
Clear the air lanes for the big broadcast.
We're not professional podcasters.
Say what?
We barely know what we're doing,
It's funny because it's true.
but we have fun anyway.
I'm here to podcast.
Does everybody know what time it is?
We're going streaky! Yeah!
No, we're not. It's time for movies, pop culture, and more with the all-new Culture Cast, starting now. I'm Nick, and welcome to the newest episode of the all-new Culture Cast. And with me today, I have a very special guest host here. This is when you introduce yourself.
Charles.
Hey, Charles. Welcome
Nick's
to the... Yes, my cousin. Which makes you awesome because you are related to me.
Exactly.
But you're awesome to begin with. So I'm glad you're able to join us this week and possibly future installments down the line. I've been meaning to ask you for like a while. I remember when you were a freshman in college, which was was it 2012, I believe?
Yeah.
When were you a freshman? 20
fall of 2012 is when I started my freshman year down here at the University of Missouri.
So yeah, and I remember then you're like, Nick, if you ever need like another person on the podcast, you can always ask me. And I was like, okay. But what was funny was around that time, the show I was doing, we kind of crapped out because of technology issues and life issues and a whole bunch of things. We kind of died in 2013, unfortunately. Was it 2014? I don't know. It was we died in around that time, and with you being in school and everything, and by the time we got this going, I just hadn't had a chance to ask you to come on to the show. So I was finally glad. I finally remembered, like, oh wait, I'm at my computer. I remember I'm going to ask him this right now, and so yeah, there's that.
It's been a long time coming, but I greatly appreciate you extending the invitation on the all new Culture Cast.
Yes, and I'm sure our ratings will go up now that you're on the show. So
Exactly.
can people can people find you elsewhere online? Like, are you a internet presence or linking to any of your other fantastic work?
To my online portfolio. If they want to check out. Actually, I guess this kind of, I don't know, we can use this sort of like a soft announcement. But me and my one of my friends, Ryan, back in college, we both did this radio show. Well, he started, and then I took over, called The Walk of Shame. And that was the Sunday mornings here in Columbia on KCOU 88.1 FM. Represent.
Plug.
Yeah, we were kind of, I don't know, I had the idea the other day of like, let's just do a podcast. So we may be having our own little shtick thing going on the internet. So if you like my voice and you like what I have to say, stay tuned.
More exciting things coming. So, alrighty. Well, today we're going to be talking about a subject that is probably near and dear to both of us. We're going to be talking about the recently completed Flash Season 3. We'll talk about that, but before we do, we're going to go into one of our regular segments. What have you been watching?
What have you been watching?
Charlie, I'll let you go first. If there's anything interesting or new you've been checking out lately?
Yeah, I would say one of the shows, me and Megan, that's my girlfriend, we've been binging a lot of different shows on Netflix, but I'd say the one we've been doing most often, or just kind of like reworking our way through again, is It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh, is that back up on Netflix? Because I know they took it off for a little bit.
It's on Netflix. Like, there's all 11 seasons are on there. I had always heard stuff on the show, some friends of mine who were always talking about, like, kind of like different comedy series, stuff like that. Always, you see an online list. I just never watched it. So we've been kind of working our way through all the seasons, and yeah, it's pretty great.
It's amazing. It's a pretty amazing show, isn't it?
It's amazing that they can make characters that are just so despicable and just pure evil, but somehow you kind of relate to that. Like, there's a little bit of like a sort of like a release where it's like, you know, if I just didn't care at all, this is probably what I would do. But yeah, no, it's amazing. But you know, I'm 11 years behind the curve apparently, so
yeah, you gotta get caught up with that stuff.
I'm working my way up.
How far are you in the show?
The way we watch, I mean, honestly, we'll put it on like kind of as we're just doing stuff around the house. So it's like we've been kind of sort of like, I'd say mostly we're around some of the more later seasons. Like we've watched it probably a couple times. Like we'll be like, let's start a random episode, and then we'll just kind of start binging through it from that point on. Okay. So I've seen a lot more of the more recent seasons than I have of the older seasons, but it's still funny.
I feel it gets weird as the show goes on. Like they don't know what to do, so they're just coming up with the craziest premises. It's still pretty good. Yeah, the one thing that's weird is like I love watching the show, but somehow I get more enjoyment talking with other people about stuff that actually happened in the show. I know it's such a weird thing, but it's like, yeah, you remember that time Frank fell out the window and he thought it was 2006 again? I don't know. It's just stuff like that. You know, I'll be just like, you know, whenever I bring up a reference, especially in front of like Megan, you know, we'll just start laughing. Yeah. So, all right. Anything else you've been watching that was worth mentioning? I finally got around to seeing Get Out. Oh, how was that? I need to see that. It's actually, it's really good. Like, you know, I think I don't post too many stuff on Facebook. Like, honestly, but I did post that it's like this is a boringly perfect movie because it's like I really have nothing bad to say about this. As it works kind of like political and social commentary. It works as just a straight up horror movie. Like, regardless, the acting's great, the cinematography's great. It's great. Again, it's honestly one of those things where it's just like you kind of have to just see it and sort of experience it. Yeah, that's about it. That was what I've been watching lately. The Kiwi, who you know her as a different name, but her name on the show is the Kiwi. The name. We've been watching. We just yesterday the season finale of, and this will tie into the Flash. The season finale of Gotham finally aired, and the show that we both watch and we both enjoy because it's. The crazier it gets, the better it gets, and this show is just off the rails, and it's so great because of it. And we've been like playing catch up. We were like 6, 7, 8 episodes behind, but we were able to catch up before the season finale, and it's good stuff. I'm curious to see where they're going to go in the next season, so I'm pleased that we were able to do that. And also superhero related, she and I recently, I rewatched. She for the first time watched. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And, that's a good one. The main reason we were watching that is we both want to see Civil War, which is on Netflix, which we have not seen yet. And since the little I know about Civil War, like the storyline for that kind of starts in Cap 2, which then we need to see Avengers 2, which we haven't seen that. And then we'll finally be able to watch Civil War. So it's if I had to pick like which one you need to watch more, preface. I can't say the word. Preface. I don't know. Whatever. Whatever to lead into Civil War. I would Winter Soldier is good. It's really good. But I would say if I had to pick one that kind of works better into like Civil War, probably Avengers 2. There's a lot more of that stuff from that movie kind of sort of directly connects to Civil War. Don't get me wrong, Winter Soldier is great. Like, it's actually like really, really good, even by Marvel standards. That's just
or that's just my take on it?
Well, I guess I wasn't sure because I know the Bucky character is like his storyline continues, I think, in Civil War. So
Yes,
I think you need that groundwork to.
Well, that's true.
I don't know. These Marvel movies are going to get to a point where you need like a PhD in Marvel history just to follow what's going on.
They're going to start teaching classes to the youngins.
Give it time. I'm not surprised they haven't done something like that, but maybe they have. I don't know. Anyway, so that's pretty much the main things that have been going on in our neck of the woods. So we're going to skip Man Crush of the Week because the Gorehound's not here tonight, and that's his jam. So we're going to go straight into our topic of the day, Flash Season 3, CW's The Flash. So, before we begin, have you been watching The Flash since the beginning, or are you a late comer to the show, or what's your history with the CW's The Flash?
Okay, I started off with The Flash, Season 1, Episode 1, as it kind of aired on TV. And like I said, I've been a fan of it ever since, and I'll be honest, as we've been, this will kind of spoil where I stand on Season 3, but as we've been going through it, it's been a labor of love. I will say that, because the first season, can I give my opinions on just the first two seasons?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, first season, given like the CW sort of Mon the Week hero, origin story format, for like, I thought the first season of The Flash was as perfect can get. Like, we have a great main hero, we have a great villain, we have a great little overarching story, with Barry discovering who really killed his mom, and we have a great little DC villain of the week coming in. But then they also did kind of like these fun little mini arcs in the background. You had one with the Rogues, with the Prison Break guys. Then you had Gorilla Grodd, and then you had Firestorm. And I can't remember if there were any others, but they kind of had those sort of sprinkled in, so it wasn't like just like, okay, this is a filler episode, and ooh, this is plot. It's like, no, this is a plot episode for that one arc that you may have gotten really attached to, or something like that. So there was always stuff going on, and I really just loved it. I was like, this is how these shows need to be done. This is like the perfect sort of structure, and this is a great tone, fun and lighthearted, but it knows when to tug at the heartstring. Say season 2, after the ending of season 1, really pumped, really excited where season 2 is going to go, and kind of let me down a little bit.
Season 2 was garbage.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, like season 2 was rough. I was like, first episode's a little slow, but we're getting into it. Like right at the end, they teased Jay Garrick. I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's keep that going. Let's build it up. Build up some speed. Pun intended. Yes. But yeah, then season 2 just kind of, I sort of just went off the rails, and I definitely near the end. Like with some shows, like you have to tune in like each week to find out what happens and stuff like that. Season 2, there was like just weeks on end. I was just like, I'll catch up on it later, and it just, I don't know. I would say the worst thing I hated, and this will probably tie in when I talk about season 3. After they revealed who Zoom really was, which if you haven't seen season 2, I'm not going to spoil it. But then they started up a
It's
new.
Jay Garrick.
Yeah,
I just spoiled it. There are no spoilers on the All New Culture Cast.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, it's evil Jay Garrick. And then they started a new mystery of who's the man in the iron mask, because somebody on the CW really loves Leonardo DiCaprio movies. And they kept dragging that on until the finale. Oh, we take who's the man in the iron mask? It's Henry Allen Shipp as the good Jay Garrick, Yeah,
they did a couple of narrative gymnastics to make that one work, but...
Yeah. Well, there was kind of they might as well have written... There was one scene I remember where they might might as well have written Foreshadow.
Oh yeah,
Right? Where
it was like, oh, that's my grandmother's maiden name.
exactly.
It's like, subtle guys.
Yeah. Gee, I wonder how that's going to play in. Which, by the way, one of the things I remember I hated from season 2. So one of the emotional cruxes of season 1 was Barry's dad's in jail and he's doing everything he can to try to prove his innocence. Season 2, episode 1.
Later, kid.
Yeah, Reverse Flash basically confesses to his mom's murder, and his dad's free. His dad's going to be there, and then he's like, "There's a party." He's like, "Yo, I'm out," which I'm assuming is, yeah, the CW ain't paying me enough to be on this.
Yeah, there's a lot of things in these CW shows, and I feel Flash is the biggest victim to it. Things will just happen for the sake of happening. Characters will get stupid just to be stupid, so the plot can advance. Yeah. And the fact that they, like Harrison Wells, or the fake Harrison Wells, said, "Oh, I killed Nora Allen." Yep, that's me. But they have no evidence or proof to go on that. Someone, especially since he now disappeared from the timeline, that's not how the legal system works. You have people who confess to crimes that they didn't do all the time, and whatever.
Exactly. Actually, Nick, I have a confession.
What's that?
I'm the one who killed JFK.
Well, obviously, we all knew that.
I was there on the grassy knoll.
I'm kind of with you on seasons 1 or 2. I really liked the first one a lot. It had a lot going for it. It was fun. It was light. It was bubbly. Season 2 started off pretty cool, and then it just sort of, like, the villain. I like Zoom. I thought he was cool looking, but I don't know what his goal was. Why was he trying to destroy all the Earths?
I think he wanted to be king of one Earth. Although I will say, with Zoom, it was really cool that they got Tony Todd, aka the Candyman, to be the voice of Zoom. So and they basically turned Zoom into like a slasher villain, which I was like, oh man, this is actually kind of cool. Like Flash versus a Jason Voorhees, but with super speed. That's kind of a cool idea. I want to see more of that. But it's then the moment they took the mask off and revealed it was not Jay Garrick, I was like, oh.
The thing that's interesting is the Zoom in the show is nothing like the Zoom from the comics, which I don't get. Bent out of shape when people do that. I know the internet is full of people who are like, it's not like the source material. Same thing with the third season's villain Savitar, completely different from the comics. But I did like how they kind of added a horror element to it. But I don't know. I never saw him being. People were supposed to be afraid of him. And I guess he was scary looking, but I never felt threatened by him. I don't know.
Yeah, he just kind of. I mean, he kind of sounded cool. He looked, a bit menacing. But yeah, I kind of agree. I definitely agree with you on that.
Flash season 3. Initial reactions to the third season.
My initial reactions.
Yes.
If I thought season 2 I thought was bad, and I thought season 3 was basically doubling down on everything that made the previous season bad. Even just everything. Instead of okay, taking this time to course correct or anything like that, they basically were all that drama in season 2 that our fan clearly loved. Let's add more of it. Let's add more stuff to that instead of and the problem is when you bury your show in artificial drama that nobody really cares about, you lose sight of what made your show great. Because here's how I knew season 3 was not going to be some sort of revelation. They basically tried doing at the end of season 1, there's basically setting up a Flashpoint paradox, which is basically It's a Wonderful Life, but with the Flash. And honestly, we get to and like I said, I actually like that story. It's a fun little, what if, Barry tried to do one good thing in the past, but ended up ruining the world. In kind of the TV show version, Barry kind of gets everything he sort of wants.
Mm-hmm.
Like both his parents alive, his mortal enemy he gets to torture for all of eternity. He's even dating the girl of his dreams. But then it's like Barry's sad because he misses his friends that he basically said at the end of season 2, "Peace, I'm out. I'm changing the timeline." And I think the sad, or he just decides, "Oh, this isn't right." When he's like, I think he's not even losing his powers. He's just forgetting that he's the Flash. So that means he probably still has some sort of connection to it. He just can't remember it. And I think Wally dies. That's the main thing. But it's like, that's as horrible as the Flashpoint world gets. Like,
the Flashpoint thing made no sense. I mean, at the end of season 2 when they set that up, I'm like, oh no, why are they doing that? Especially when they had like 2 episodes previously was all about him letting go and accepting like his fate and accepting like people will die in his life. And he's like, well, I'm good with that. Oh, wait, no, I'm not. So I was really concerned what they were going to do with the Flashpoint.
Yeah.
But I got to say...
But you don't understand... Nick, you don't understand. He only got over his mother's death. Now his dad's dead, and it's a whole different complication.
Sure. I know. But I think the Flashpoint element, everything you brought up with Flashpoint makes sense. Like the criticisms that you're saying. Because, like, he's forgetting that he's the Flash, although if he changed the time, he shouldn't have the powers in the first place.
Yeah, no, like, that should be gone. Like, I think in the original story, just Barry woke up one day and he wasn't the Flash anymore, and everything had changed.
Yeah.
It was a discovery.
Yeah, and so there's that, and then when he fixed things as close as they could be, I was really concerned that, because they had like, Iris and her dad are not talking, and Cisco hates Barry, and I'm like, oh, what are they doing? But I'm so glad that they fixed all that within like 2-3 episodes, because by the end of the season, you completely forgot about, like, all that stuff was completely forgotten about in the show. It was like, this is going to be a problem for just like one episode, and then we'll move on.
Yeah, the Cisco thing I'm surprised they kept it going as long as they did. Like, they kept that going up until like their big the
crossover.
The big mega crossover. So I'm surprised they kept it going that long.
I think they wanted it for the crossover, because that was how Cisco stopped blaming Barry, because he did the same mistake.
Basically, it took the greatest superhero team of all time to show him that, time, it's not really that sacred. You can mess with it however you want. But yeah, no, it just...
I think after the Flashpoint stuff, I liked the direction of the season. I was actually a fan of this season for the most part. There's some things that could have been done better, or all that. And one of the things that I take issues with is the Savitar character, which I'm sure we'll talk about.
Yeah,
but,
we'll get...
like, I liked the addition of the guy from Harry Potter, Julian.
Yeah.
That's not his real name. I liked him on the show. I kind of like how they brought him in, and everyone except Barry's like, oh yeah, he's been here the whole time. Because I kind of like it when shows sort of give like the middle finger to their audience. I'm always amused by that. So I kind of like how, like, Barry has no idea who this guy is, but everyone else does. I liked HR. I liked the addition of him. He was obnoxious, but he was a good kind of obnoxious, in my opinion, because he was such a fraud.
I did like that he was like that he was just a complete joke, but at the same time, like, that was funny, like, near the beginning of his sort of run, like, but then, I don't know, he may have grown on some people, but he did not grow on me as much as I would have liked him to. Like, I think he got a couple funny lines, but honestly, it was just like, and are we okay? Are we cool for spoilers here?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so when they, like, at the end where they were like, when HR, sacrificed himself using, the face-changing tech or something like that, it was kind of one of those things, like, kind of like Gene Hackman and Willy Wonka, where it's like, no, please, don't go. I was like, it didn't. I don't know. It didn't hit me as much as I think the show wanted it to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, did like Julian. Basically, they just. I think that there was a part of me just like Draco Malfoy's on this show. Yes. But then they did, and they sort of very quickly turned him from being kind of a dick into being I'm a good guy now.
See, I like that they did that, and I like how because they were setting up Dr. Alchemy to be the main villain of the season, and they had like, who is Dr. Alchemy, when it was clearly obvious who he was from the first episode. But
Yeah.
I kind of like, and Arrow did sort of the same thing, where they had like this one arc with this one villain, and then they resolved it. They didn't dwell too much on the mystery, and then it's like, well, I felt like this season kind of had like two main arcs that were connected. Yeah, I like how they handled that, and then how he became a good guy, and they didn't kill him at the end of the season, so that's nice.
Yeah, so we get him back. I have to agree. Like, it definitely was two main arcs. I don't know how well they connect, how well those two main arcs gelled, because you have the first arc of the immediate fallout of Flashpoint, and Dr. Alchemy's the villain, and you basically have all the metahumans from the season. They are from the Flashpoint timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I kind of was getting into that, and I was really excited for Dr. Alchemy to be kind of like this main villain, someone who can maybe challenge Barry in different ways. But then the moment when they went and revealed that, oh no, it's a speedster that's the main villain, and the goal for Barry is, I gotta get faster, and it's like, we already did this twice.
Yeah,
and now,
I agree. They didn't need to have another speedster.
Yeah.
But I guess I just like the idea that they're kind of like, there wasn't a season-long mystery of who's the bad guy, the way they did with Zoom, I felt. And which I guess they sort of did, but it was done in a different way. I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I'm going to start digging in a little bit into Savitar. Like, they start, like, honestly, if they revealed him a bit sooner, like, I think that episode where Wally got trapped in the Speed Force and, like, Savitar was freed, I think that's when they should have said, oh, he's future Barry. Instead, they just upset, which, I mean, for the audience, it was pretty obvious that it was future Barry, but none of the characters...
Future Flash.
Near the end where where Barry's finally getting it, I just wanted him to say, wait a minute, that wasn't a comment at all.
What's kind of funny is that Savitar kind of mocked Barry about it too. Like, about time you figured it out.
Yeah, you and the rest of the audience at home are glad that you finally put two and two together. But yeah, I mean, I will say this: like, I didn't like Savitar's look when he was all CGI, but surprisingly, I started to enjoy Savitar more when they had like the suit. Like, because like halfway through, Savitar was just an all CGI character, but then they kind of had like a practical suit for him, and for some reason, I don't know why.
I wasn't sure if that was practical. I thought it was still CGI up until the end there.
No, there was like, I think it was one of the episodes. I think it was leading right into when Savitar got freed. Instead of making Savitar a fully CGI character, they made him a mix of like a guy in a suit and like CGI.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, I don't know why, but I think on screen that gave him much more of a presence than just.
Yeah, I can see that. When you have
me at least.
No, I think you're right. Like when you have something that's practical versus a full CGI character, unless it's a really tight CGI character, the practical effect is always going to look better. It's more tangible.
Yeah. Exactly. Like the best CGI effect that they did, that I think the Flash or any of the CW shows did, was kind of like when they fully revealed Gorilla Grodd at the end of season 1. I thought Gorilla Grodd looks great, and that was, I think, because all the teases for him, very much kept in shadow and stuff like that. Yep. So that way, when we finally saw him, it was like, there he is. There's Gorilla Grodd. It's like, oh my god, he looks amazing.
And even when they did reveal him, it was still like at night and dark, so the CGI would blend a little bit better. It wouldn't look as
Exactly.
cartoony. So they thought that one through.
They planned it out for that one, and yeah, but
And
I think it's that.
even
Oh,
Savitar,
sorry.
most of his time was at night. Like I don't think you ever actually saw him during the day, except maybe when he was just out of the suit. But every time you saw the suit, it was always at night.
Yeah, there might have been one shot of him in the day, but I think that's when Wally was like hallucinating Savitar constantly.
Oh, you might be right.
I think, but that was the only time. But yeah, you're right. They definitely just kept it at night. I want me one of those Savitar suits
No,
just
okay.
to walk around town.
Here's my problem with Savitar is I get that he is a time remnant of Barry in the future, which sounds batshit crazy if you haven't seen the show.
So if nobody knows what we're talking about and you just tuned in,
Basically, let's see if I can figure this out. A time remnant is if you're a speedster, you can pluck a version of yourself from your past out of time. It essentially makes a duplicate of yourself that you could bring into the present day. So you could pretty much have a double, essentially. And at least that's how I understood it. I mean, it's very vague on what a time remnant actually is.
the way I understood it is a little bit different. It was a future version of you goes back into the goes back into the past, and you interact with your past self. And you, because you traveled back in the past and are interacting with your past self, you are the time remnant.
See, I thought it was like the past self was the time remnant.
No, I think it's the future self is the time remnant because, like, you know, in season when they had the giant wheel in season 2, Barry goes back in time, turning himself into a time remnant and basically sacrifices himself. But the past version of him lives because, you know, a future version of him intercepted, so that way he wouldn't have to go back in time or something like that.
You know, the time travel on the Flash is so inconsistent, I feel.
Yeah.
Because like I look at Zoom in season 2. There were essentially two versions of Zoom for certain parts in the season: the Jay Garrick Zoom and the Zoom.
Right.
Zoom.
Zoom.
And the Jay Garrick Zoom came from Zoom's past because he fell in love with Caitlin, and present day Zoom still had feelings for Caitlin, which if it was the future, that wouldn't have happened yet. It makes actually, since Zoom died, or since Jay Garrick died, Zoom shouldn't have any of those memories. Oh my god, it doesn't make sense. All we know is that in the future of the show, Barry makes a copy of himself.
Yes.
To fight Savitar, and this copy survives, is rejected by Barry and everyone else, and decides to become evil, essentially. Here's my problem with Savitar. Getting back on the topic I was trying to start like 90 minutes ago, however long it was. The problem with Savitar is when the season begins, Savitar is locked in a prison that future Barry made. So in the future, Barry fights Savitar, locks him away in the Speed Force prison. Villain stopped. The beginning of this season, or the middle of the point of the season, Wally is tricked and releases Savitar from his jail. Okay. So logically, there should be two Savitars running around. One that already exists, and the other one that was released from jail. And the one from jail already killed Iris. But the one that was released is the one that says, I'm going to kill Iris. That makes no sense. It's...
Oh, God. Yeah, because it's just like... Yeah, because I thought the one who killed Iris, is the one who ends up in the jail. But that he's going to kill Iris?
I mean, I guess he might want to kill Iris again. But then that means how is he going to be... He's created when Iris dies, which causes Barry to make the copy, which becomes Savitar.
Who goes back in time and creates the legend of Savitar.
and then eventually gets put in jail, then kills Iris, is put in jail, and then released. So oh my god, it makes no sense.
It really starts to fall in on itself.
Yeah.
Once you try to even remotely explain it. Like, I think when you kind of like pull back, like, or simplify it, it's like, future version Barry that became evil. Okay, fine. But it's like the way that his origin happens is so scattered and all over the place that you can't get like a single like chronological order of events of how things went down. Like, how did...
At least from like Savitar's point of view, because he's a time traveler, he can do anything he wants.
Right.
Like, what's Savitar's life? He's created, rejected, decides to become a villain, and then what happens? That's where we're kind of left with a question mark.
Yeah, it really does kind of get confusing, because does that mean that there's always a Savitar in that time jail? Because think about it, it's like when Savitar, I don't know, it really...
That part, I guess, didn't bother me, because in the Speed Force there is no time. Essentially, it's just timeless. You're there, you're out, whatever. Time has no meaning. But yeah, I don't. And wait, oh god! And if they stop Savitar, Barry doesn't have to make that prison, so that shouldn't exist anymore. But it does, because Barry goes to it at the end of the season. Oh my god, this is so dumb.
It really does kind of... It takes a very simple idea of, hey, what if Barry fought, and, Barry's worst enemy is himself?
Evil
well, what if
clone
the villain...
syndrome.
Exactly. But then they just kind of made it way too complicated. And kind of going back to season 2, that's where I was confused. Like, they had that one episode where they brought reverse flashback, and they kind of sort of tried to explain that, and I think that's where they introduced the idea of a time remnant.
Uh-huh.
And that's when it's like, okay, I need a PhD to understand the logic that's going on here.
Like, with that one, that, I guess, sort of made sense, because they said, because Reverse Flash's actions affect the current timeline, everything up to when he's erased has to happen, or at least a copy of it has to happen. And
the way they said it is like, because Reverse Flash was traveling through the Speed Force as he was being erased from history, that protected the version that was traveling. So
like the past version that was traveling through the Speed Force was protected from being erased because he was traveling through the Speed Force.
Right. Yeah, and we assume that the Speed Force, we're getting into the physics of the Speed Force and a imaginary plot device, but I can
imagine all the people who would be theoretically listening to this have long turned us off, because like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, they're going
nerds
on and
talking about
nerds.
All right, let's
get back to
let's just get back to the story, because clearly we're never going to figure out the Speed Force.
Yeah, we're going to be here all night trying to figure out the physics of...
I guess, but long story short, the physics of the Speed Force, the physics of Savitar. I like time travel movies, I like time travel shows, as long as the internal mechanism how time travel works is consistent in a show.
Yeah.
It just, with the way the Flash does it, especially in Savitar's case, it's tough for me to suspend my disbelief.
Yeah. Well, even kind of go back to the perfection that was season 1, they kind of dealt with time travel in a very... Like, they slowly introduced time travel. Like, they had Barry at one point just go back a day. And they said, like, is time... And they even basically, because the show's full of just, like, shamelessly referencing pop culture, they were like, is time travel like Terminator, where everything's determined? Or is it like Back to the Future, where changes, in the past affect the future? As we kind of know now, it's more Back to the Future style of, you change something in the past, you're going to create a whole new timeline.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think just I think going back to just kind of like the overall story of everything, like, I I don't know. It just it's one of those things where I think if they had revealed, if they just came out and said who Savitar was earlier, and I definitely felt like they really dragged out that kind of like that end date of like, oh, this is when Iris dies, because it really doesn't go on for a while, and then it's like every action sort of kind of has this dread of we're getting closer to to Iris's death and stuff like that. Like I said, that was just kind of like a lot of my big things. It was like I feel like we could have gotten closer to what we were trying to say or what we were trying to do with the season a lot sooner than just dragging on that mystery of who is Savitar. I think that was the main thing. I think if they hadn't dragged it on for so long, where we don't get an official reveal until the very, very end of the season, and by that point, most people have either A, figured it out, or B, aren't quite as engaged. I wanted to see how they were going to tie it all up, but
I could. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I mean, I liked the season overall. I thought there was a lot of good stuff in the season.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed the story more than last year. I thought it was a little bit more heart to the story. Like I said, the only issue I had was the mechanisms of Savitar, like how he came to be. But beyond that, I thought a huge step up from season 2. But that's just me.
I would say it was more of a. Like I said, I kind of want to talk about a lot of the good things in season 3, because I would say the biggest thing is just consistency. Because I just felt like not every episode, like season 1, a lot of the episodes were really great, and season 3 was like kind of very, very. If season 2 was very much hit and miss, this was even more just sort of more clunky. Season 3 was, I would say, at the end of the day, just very clunky because it just didn't know what it wanted to fully do at times. But I want to talk about the good stuff.
What? Okay. What? I have a question for you, but what's some of the good things?
Oh, do you want to do the question first?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do that.
What do you think of the musical episode?
I will say this: I'm not a fan of Glee, but I am a fan of shows just taking a chance and doing something balls to the wall crazy. And given the fact that a lot of people, like I think on like Reddit and stuff like that, acknowledge that a lot of the CW actors have like musical experience. I thought it was a really fun idea. I think it was a really fun idea. Definitely not how I thought they would have executed it. I would have gone full crazy. I just would have had it be like, our world, normal day, just everyone at random singing. And I think the whole momentum of a musical-based episode, for me, I think it took off from the Batman Brave and the Bold cartoon, where they had an episode with the Music Meister, and it was an entire musical episode. And I think they had Neil Patrick Harris as the voice of the Music Meister. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I loved it for just taking a chance of going out there. It's like, yeah, that's what I want to see.
I was disappointed with it because the way they were pumping it for a musical episode, it had a shockingly lack of music in it. Let me phrase that.
Yeah.
It had a shockingly low amount of music in it. There you go. That's more grammatically correct.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's it. Okay. Like it wasn't very. I don't know. I was expecting more songs, I suppose. Which I know songs aren't easy to pop out and come up with, I guess. Well, Glee did it, but Glee did. They used other people's songs, but
that's true.
I don't know. I mean, they had some cute numbers in there, but
I did like the little Super Friends one.
Yeah, that was cute. I like how Barry was mocking Superman, even though he never actually met Superman.
Yeah, or does he even know Superman exists?
Yeah, that's another good question.
Yeah, that was, I don't know, that was a cute little number. I would say with the musical episode, I am surprised that they decided to do sort of like a 40s, Singing in the Rain style music. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, in my head, I was thinking, okay, they're going to do a bunch of like pop songs or something like that people know. It's like, no, they're doing like these sort of older jazz tunes.
Definitely more of a classic sort of musical
Yeah.
feel to it.
Yeah, which again, just given that the fact that pretty much I think everyone online is like, both of these actors were on Glee and stuff like that. I was like, okay, so they're probably going to do a bunch of pop songs or something like that. Other good stuff I kind of liked. Liked the Gorilla City stuff. Well, at least the first. I liked the first part more with Barry fighting Solivar. That was pretty cool. Second part was eh. I liked Wally West as Kid Flash. Really enjoyed that bit. Trying to think of others. I don't know. I had more stuff.
Do you think he's going to be real Flash next year?
I don't know, because that ending was sort of very ambiguous as to who's going to be the Flash. I assume it's probably going to be Wally, because it was very much like, okay, we have everything wrapped up in a nice, neat little package, and then it just kind of turns into, nope, sorry, Barry, you got to go into the time prison.
I know Barry's going to be back. I mean, they're not going to write him off, but is it just me, or was Barry just a little bit too eager to go into the Speed Force prison at the end there? I feel like the Speed Force like, all right, Barry, you got to come. It's your time to be in here. He's like, all right, later, guys. Like, no fight, no. He's like just accepted it way too quickly.
Couldn't he have sent it? Speaking of which, couldn't he have just sent a Time Remnant?
No, that's how this whole thing started.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess that's true. Yeah, I guess that plan really, we saw how that plan backfires.
He realized, I'm about to get married. Oh my god, how do I get out of this? Aha! Thank you, Speed Force.
Sweet.
So,
I'm going to be with my mom for the rest of eternity.
Because nothing's creepy about that.
None at all.
So...
Yeah, it's just going to be me and Black Flash are going to be hanging out.
Actually, is he dead? Because Caitlin, froze him, and then he shattered. So I'm assuming he's no more.
I would hate for that to happen, because I kind of like that there is Black Flash, that there is kind of Black Flash, kind of like the speedster of death. Although they kind of, when he was in the Speed Force, like when Barry was in the Speed Force, he kind of blew up Black Flash there too. So I don't think I don't want to say he's dead, but
I guess they could always bring him back and be like, oh, he got better.
Yeah, I'd be very disappointed. I would say this: I'd be very disappointed if that's how they wrote it off.
I don't know. I think we kind of covered all the main key elements of Flash season 3. Do you have any final thoughts on it, or?
I hope that they kind of for next. I just hope for next year they kind of do what Arrow did and do like kind of a back to basics type approach, which is we gotta keep the show fun, keep it light, have Barry, quip while he's fighting bad guys. I think that's where the show was at its strongest. Mm-hmm. Versus kind of putting in all this forced melodrama and relationships. Because, like I said, don't get me wrong, I like my stories. I like my, but yeah, they kind of doubled down on the amount of relationships people were in this season. Yeah.
Hopefully next year they continue to improve.
Mm-hmm.
The interesting thing is they've said that they're not going to do a speedster villain for next season. That's completely out.
Yeah.
Until they change their mind, I'm sure.
Yeah, halfway through they'll introduce somebody.
They have mentioned that the main villain for next year is a Golden Age character called the Thinker. I don't know a whole lot about this character, so it will be interesting to see what they do with it. It would be good to have a character that gives the team some issues without without being like, oh, you gotta run faster, Barry. So,
because that's always how. Well, has Barry ever defeated someone by going faster? Think about it. You didn't stop Reverse Flash. Eddie killed
shot
himself.
Yeah.
The time race took Zoom away to become the Black Flash, and Savitar, yeah, Irish shot Savitar. Has Barry ever stopped someone by going faster?
I guess at least not with the big bads. No, I guess not. I can't think of any of the one-off episodes where they have the villain of the week, but yeah, you raise a very excellent point. At some point when they're like, Barry, you gotta go faster. He's like, no, that has never helped me, ever.
Like, no, like cleverly laid trap or some sort of like outsmarting the villain has always succeeded. Going faster literally does nothing. But no, yeah, I did hear that. Don't know much about that character, but like I said, I'm really just kind of. That's why I was excited when they said Dr. Alchemy was going to be the villain, because I was like, okay, we don't have a speedster, we have someone that is doing something different that doesn't involve speed directly.
I'm thinking of the
yeah,
comics.
I'm looking forward to it.
I can't think of any other. Oh, I guess there's one, but I don't think they'd go that route. I'm trying to think of other speedster villains, and I think they've used up all of them except one, possibly two. One being another Reverse Flash, which in the comics is the brother of Iris. But I don't think they'd go that route. The other one being Cobalt Blue, who I believe is a speedster. Correct me if I'm wrong, Internet. But his crazy backstory is that he's Barry Allen's long-lost twin brother who somehow was raised by the Thrawn family, and hijinks ensue. Yeah. I don't think they do that since they just had the evil clone story with Savitar.
Yeah, hopefully they won't go the full opera route and bring back the long-lost brother. Yeah. There actually is a third option that I'm thinking of off the top of my head. Have you read any of the... It's from the Flash Rebirth.
Oh, Godspeed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of...
We'll see. I guess he's a newer character. I guess they can.
They could if they really want. I remember reading in some of the like press junkets leading up to it that they meant. I think it was like either a TV Guide or like Entertainment Weekly. I think they dropped the name Godspeed in there. So I don't know if that was like they just got their information wrong. I didn't really like Godspeed that much in the stories that I read with him, and he's such a new character that's like.
I would be surprised they bring the new character in.
Yeah, someone that
quickly. New. Yeah, I mean, I guess anything's possible, but I guess if they want to do a speed villain, they're kind of scraping at the bottom of the barrel at the moment.
Yeah, they did all the good. They've done all the good ones, or at least have created amalgams of all the good ones.
Yeah, at least the known ones. Even Savitar, I think, was a bit of a stretch because I don't know how popular or prevalent he actually was within the grander scheme of the Flash, but. Whatever.
Yeah, it's neither here nor there.
He has plenty of other villains that they could pull from. Hopefully they will.
Well, unfortunately, like I said, I'll be honest, I was always looking forward to them doing having the Rogues be like have more of a presence, but after kind of season 1.
Yeah, now that Heatwave is on Legends and Captain Cold is dead, that's not going to happen.
No, Captain Cold's just breaking out of prison right now.
Yeah, bro, that's true.
Yeah. Well, they kind of have like sort of vague reasons. They're like, well, you can just pull Captain Cold from different point timeline before he dies, and as long as you put him back, then
I guess. But I would be surprised if they do the whole, like, besides just the occasional guest appearance.
Yeah.
But oh well. Well, let's wrap this up before we get too long here.
Yeah.
Usually in the show right now, I usually do a trivia question.
Ooh.
But I don't have it in a form of a question, which I've been really bad at that lately in the last couple of episodes. So instead, I'm just going to spout out the trivia, which you probably already know.
It's trivia time.
Okay.
In the show, the Flash, Barry proposed to his girlfriend, Iris, his sister girlfriend, because that's not creepy.
Not at all.
In just this past season, in fact, I believe it was the musical episode that they officially proposed, because they had a little back and forth there.
Yeah, because he was trying to change the future, like if
Yes.
or something like that. But yeah,
So, and which that episode aired on March 21st, 2017. In real life, Grant Gustin also got engaged this past year. Only his real life engagement was a month later on April 29th, 2017.
oh,
I don't know if he sang to his fiancée as well, in a very auto-tuned manner, but it's just kind of interesting how coincidental in time kind of
art
worked
imitating life, or
Yes.
life imitating art.
so that's exciting. So good luck to them on all that.
Yeah. Good on you, Grant.
So I guess that's going to do it. So Charlie, thank you for joining me tonight.
Thank you for bringing me on.
I don't know if you ever want to come back to do future episodes with the gang and whatnot. I guess we'll be happy to have you. Although after this experience, you might be like, never again. So
No, I any opportunity I get to talk about CW superhero shows, I'm game.
All right, I'll keep that in mind. So, all right. Well, thanks again for joining me. For all you listener out there, thanks for listening, and we will see you next week. You've been listening to the all-new Culture Cast, one of Chicagoland's finest podcasts.
You're making me fall asleep to death.
Well, I guess there's not much we can do about that. In the meantime, check out our blog at znculturecast.wordpress.com. Send us an email at nick.culturecast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your feedback, comments, and requests. Follow us on social media. Theme music by bensound.com. This has been a Saltwater production, copyright 2017. Thanks for listening.
If Flock of Seagulls does not make an appearance, I will be disappointed.